Good evening, Freedom Prize fans, and welcome back to the Monday Night Community Races here on the Freedom Prize channel. My name is Gambit017. I am joined in the commentary booth tonight by Karant. How are you doing tonight?
I am doing quite well, thank you. Who needs Monday Night Football tonight? We have Monday Night Jumping because the flags, as you might have seen Damshi rolling on the screen there, include the much anticipated and much hyped press B to jump. So we're going to see a whole bunch of hopping players tonight.
Yes, we do. Press B to jump was an April Fool's flag from earlier this year and just took off with the community. Adds so much fun to the game with jumping different enemies, jumping different spots, all kind of fun stuff you can do with it, which you'll hopefully get to see between our four featured runners tonight.
Absolutely. We have Zoe Vermillion, Coffee and Chocobos, Antidale, and Damashi for you tonight on screen. And we have 24 other runners participating in the community race tonight. So everybody is hyped, and we've got a lot of folks who are ready and raring to go, and they should be getting underway very shortly. So it is going to be a lot of fun. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I hope all of you are as well.
I have been looking forward to the return of community races ever since we got to this point in Zima Zone. Remember, we still do have a couple of Zima Zone matches left to go, but let's get the community races back underway. Big thing with this flag set is you do start with that edge. We need to find a King Queen Evelyn, defeat a king in the Town of Summer Monsters, and raise the big whale. Let's see who we're going to get that edge paired with right off the bat.
Speaking of jumping,
it's a Magma Key start, so unfortunately we do get to miss the fun jumping through the hook route because no worries about underground access. Everyone's favorite betrayer in his vanilla position, and we'll have to see where people want to go to start off this seed.
yeah, I saw some speculation in one of the channels a little bit earlier today that people are probably going to just utterly scatter to the winds. And I wouldn't be at all surprised because the push B to jump means that you can not only jump around for the fun of it, but you can jump over story triggers and potentially boss fights, although you'll want to check them first for the king and queen. So there's all sorts of crazy hijinks that can happen, and I think they'll happen in approximately 5 seconds. Like that.
Here we see Antidale and Namishi heading straight into Baron. We've got Coffee and Chocobos heading straight for that Magma Key, and Zoe heading down into Evelyn. Just uses that route, checking that character, because guess who's back in the character pool?
Oh, yes, I think we have a bald old man lingering around somewhere. Hasn't been seen since the beginning of the Zimas tournament. You might know him.
That's right, you know him, you love him. You can find the Fusoya again. He is so helpful.
I wonder if the runners are going to take a second and have to try to sort of refigure it because we've been so long without Fu that poor guy has moldered a bit. We might need to dust him off before we can really get him going.
Yeah, but only a Sid down here in Evelyn, and Damishi, I believe, showing off that it is the Mom Bomb in the Odin spot. So no luck there looking for King Queen Evelyn. That's going to be the fun thing about this race is push me to jump, you can skip so many boss spots, but you're looking for a particular boss, so you've got to still check it to make sure.
Right, yeah, you can't just be willy-nilly with it and try to jump all the triggers, at least not immediately anyway. But once you get those checks out of the way, then you can jump around all you like.
Antidale says, I've got an edge, this is a Baigan right here, I'm going to go ahead and take this real fast, see who the boss behind here is. If it's that King Queen, that's knowledge.
Yeah, and it's a really quick check too, because that flame will do a very good job of eradicating the arms, make that battle, excuse me, make that battle a little bit easier. And of course, we see Kane finish him off. So let's go ahead and see who is hiding behind door number 2.
That is Mylon and his friends.
Well, that's not the king and queen, but hey, I mean, Flame can still do pretty well against those gas too, so this is a pretty easily handleable spot if Mylon doesn't start punching things.
Yeah, but even if Mylon does, this is a very slow spot. Edge can probably take a punch. Kane will go down immediately, but at that point, life potions and bring everybody back up. So in the meantime, finding Dark Imps in the King Queen spot, finding Antlion up at the top of tower. Still no luck for King Queen of Evelyn.
Oh well, alas.
So Zoe also showing off he can jump on top of some buildings there. So much fun.
Oh, looks like Antidel has taken down Mylon and company and gotten an Artemis bow for his troubles. Pretty good weapon, but not necessarily a key item as you may have been looking for.
Yes, and unfortunately right now, no one in his party who can actually use that. So we find a Rosa, an Edward, any of the twins might be worth it right now, not really doing anything.
So a question I actually have, if you don't mind me asking. I did notice that Edge was attacking by jumping, so I'm presuming that the push B to jump applies to attacks as well as just maneuvering around the environment?
Correct. You can push B to jump. You can press B to jump in the overworld, and you can jump over things. In battle, you can press B to jump, and you can do your best Kane impression.
That's pretty handy against a boss like Mylon that just loves to cast magic at you.
That is just a legend sword down here in the Fame March, so still looking for that darkness crystal.
Well, I was going to say, you know that these flags are definitely different from the Zenith Zone tournament flags when you can utter the words just a legend sword.
And that is a Rubicante sprite in the king spot. If that, either way, Rubicante or elements there, that's not fun.
Not particularly, no. And Zoe discovering the truth as well, and is going to go ahead and, I presume, see which of the two it is.
Correct. I assume this is just knowledge. It is leg. It is everyone's favorite leg.
It is 4/4 leg, so no bargains or deceptions here. It is all leggy.
So at this point, if I am our runners, I see that Rubicante there. I'm trying to find drain spheres for sale somewhere and saving up a bunch of money so I can start darting some stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That will do very, very well.
Meantime, Coffee and Chocobos is doing a little bit of looting down in the Sylph Cave on his way down. Probably wants to check and, again, find something he can sell for money for the said drain spheres.
Well, all he's found so far is monsters, so hopefully later chest checks will not run across the, I believe it's 7 trap chests in the Sylph Cave?
That is correct. 7 trap chests. One thing I do want to point out, there was a Masamune in just a random chest in the Fame March area.
Speaking of flags that are different from the tournament, I believe the treasure flag on this flag is T-Wild, so that means you've got an equal chance of getting not much in a treasure chest, or getting basically the dominant weapon that you need to slice open the seed all in one fell swoop.
Yes, that means you can find the crystal sword randomly sitting in the chest. To answer a question in chat, the seed will end once all 3 objectives are complete. No Zeromas tonight. Sorry. Put your Z-Flags back in your pocket.
Yep, we get to have a little bit of a Z-cation, if you will.
Well, that is a gauntlet in this cave. The Mishi showing that off real fast.
Well, so much for some speculation that they were wanting the gauntlet to hold, what was it, the gauntlet to hold the twin heart that would have access to the king and queen, I believe was what, I think it was what you were saying earlier, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was my hope, but I just also noticed it's not all gauntlet. There's our king queen. They are taking a shower today.
Oh, well, there's a pretty easy objective then if they're getting themselves immersed in a waterfall.
And the Mishi reset out of it. I don't know if they want to get some more characters, get some more experience first, or people to get experience for first. But we'll definitely be back there at some point.
Oh, well, I certainly hope so if you want to complete all those objectives. Speaking of kings, Coffee has found the King of Dragons at the, I believe, the Fabul defense spot.
And Antidale showing us that our job dwarf today is a quality control engineer.
I salute you, Job Dwarf.
That is a pan from the defensive Fabul. You're going to have to double dip Fabul one way or another today.
Well, oops, there you go.
But one thing he did pick up, I saw Coffee and Chocobos in that side room, picked up a boomerang. That's going to be able to back row that edge.
Well, that's definitely nice to see. Even though we don't have to worry about fighting the big Z, you still want to have Edge, have that contingency there if you want to try to get his damage up and give a little more security to a hopefully strong party.
And Sheila won. Sheila gave us a Luca key. I believe. I don't know if that was Sheila 1 or Sheila 2.
I think it was Sheila 1 because it just picked up the pan, so it couldn't have been Sheila 2.
Good point. I realized, I was like, he's got pan, does it? No, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, that's just one of those, it's coming out of your mouth and your brain is going, wait a minute, hang on.
It's like, I see the pan lit up. Was that Sheila? No, it's Sheila 1. Anyway, Demishi's going to show us some dancing dolls down in the Antlion Cave tonight.
Oh, well, speaking of good uses of flame.
Meantime, Antonelle is going to go set up Sheila 1, while Coffee and Chocobo is heading back down to hit the not gang with the pan to get set up for Sheila 2. And Zoe gets the pan from Fabul and is going to go get the Luca Key from Sheila 1.
Meanwhile, we had ourselves an Earth Crystal over in Antlion Cave.
Is Damishi going to treat us to our favorite game show?
I guess we'll find out shortly, won't we?
I mean, T Wild Flags, I would immediately head over to Troya and turn in that treasury, because every chest in there could possibly be an adamant armor.
Oh, absolutely. Speaking of things we haven't seen in this tournament, or in the tournament, I should say.
Sheila 2 is a pigtail.
Well, nuts.
I mean, it is an adamant armor.
True, but just can't turn it in quite yet.
Nope, still need a hook.
Because unfortunately, even though our runners can jump today, they cannot jump over large bodies of water. That's a little beyond their abilities, even for Kane.
And Damishi showing off jumping over the bridge there at Ordeals is going to get into the crystal room, and we'll find out what key item is here in a second. Oh, that's an item that will unfortunately not ever get used in this seat.
Oh, sadly. Well, sadly in a way. It's certainly easier for the runners.
And there's a boss you don't want to see in this room.
True. No, you want to see him in the king spot, frankly.
Yeah, we're going to find out who the boss is over here. I was in Lunar Sparkle on the front side, and that's Demus on the back side. And Coffee Chocobos might take this Demus fight because free key items is off. This Demus is going to hold a key item.
Yeah, and with an edge, pretty powerfully set up, it shouldn't be too hard of a takedown.
If this Demus holds Darkness Crystal, that would be insane.
It certainly would, and it would pave the way for potentially a very quick seed.
And unfortunately for Damishi, with the knowledge of where King Queen Emblem is, did not check either of these two bosses. Could be a huge stumbling block.
It could very well be. Yeah, we'll see once we find out what that Mist Dragon is holding.
Oh, no, Damishi checking it immediately on the way out. So, Coffee and Chocobos would be in an absolutely great position if we were still playing League Flags, because got Forge in hand.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, as it is, I'm half tempted to go Forge that anyway, just to pick up the X-Cal to be able to throw with Edge.
Yeah, that's certainly doable. I mean, obviously, the counterweight to that is you don't have to do that right now, so might as well do it, route it in a little bit more efficiently.
Then you might be looking at Antidale's screen and saying, Antidale hasn't done Mount Ordeals, has not picked up that Twin Harp. Why is he heading over to Cave Magnus? Would you like to explain?
Well, if I understand correctly, and hopefully I am, I'm a little new to push B to jump, but I presume you can jump right over the Dark Imp and just tag that crystal and get the heck out of Dodge.
That is absolutely correct. There's no need to even talk to the Dark Elf. You can just hop right over his head, grab the crystal, hop right back over, and say adios.
No, sad face for the music, though.
That just means that when our featured runners are done with the seed, we'll have to politely ask one of them to go back and play music for us.
Yeah, well, there's a few candidates, so I think we should be fine on that front.
Lord Goober, you hit the nail on the head. I have had that exact thought. Unfortunately, we do know that King Queen Evelyn is in the waterfall.
Yep, we have seen it.
Meantime, the mission showing us that the front sparkle was impaled him, taking the fight, wondering if just trying to get some levels for that cane. Coffee Chocobo is about to turn in Demas, so we'll find out what Ridian's mom has. Hey, look, guys, we can go to Zeromus now. Woo! Alright, so at this point, you know, I'm looking for a pass, and I just need to find some Star Veils and some vampires, maybe a couple Pure 3.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, go ahead and get those 1200 HP strats ready. Chat's already getting the Z flags ready. They're definitely anticipating.
And you can see Antidale being the only one who's not done ordeals and has not checked Waterfall, checking the bosses, checks the spot here at the Maga Sisters, finds a guard of some sort, and that's going to be a Vanilla Gomez in Dwarf Castle with our mop that we've been talking about a little bit. And if I'm not mistaken, that was a French vanilla cane there in Zot.
Yeah, so it would appear.
Hey, look at that. That's a shop of shops the best she's found. Life potions, sirens, and Bacchus wine.
That will carry you very, very far indeed. My goodness. That's a seed I wish I had found when I was still playing in the group flags.
Only Mylon Z here at the top of Zot. Climbed the wrong tower today.
Oh well, that's fine. We can take care of him easily enough. Especially with good old Foo sitting around here.
In the meantime, while our runners are kind of crossing each other's paths for the most part, I do want to shout out Maggie the Cat doing tracking for us today. 4 players to track is never a fun thing, so trackers are the backbone of our streams. And Scala doing the restreaming, making sure we've got this beautiful show put on for you. Glad to be back with our community races.
Yeah, this is the first community race of which I've been a part since I joined the community right around the beginning of the 3 Miss Zone tournament. So I haven't seen one of these yet. I've experienced them with other communities, but my goodness, we got almost 30 runners here tonight. It is utterly bananas, and it is a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is an absolute blast for community races because they are just so hectic. You've got so many people who can go so many different ways. and you never know what's going to happen. So we enjoy it. If you like what you see, feel free to join the Discord if you're not already. We are always welcoming to new members, and if you are interested in racing, we've got a whole race channel. You can come in. We've got a newbies channel. You can ask questions in, and anyone who knows the answer, we'll try to answer it for you.
Absolutely. The community has been very helpful to me personally since I started running this game and learning the routing and such from the ground up. And there's still a lot to learn. I still have a lot to learn, but they have helped me out immensely in trying to keep my head from spiraling around too much.
Yeah, I do want to give a special shout out to Captain Uhu, who is the one who helped Scala with the tracker layouts, or not tracker, the layouts in general. So definitely shout out.
Well, Antidale finding out that there was a package after the Zot fights, and Coffee and Chocobos is just finishing up taking down the king, the masquerading king at Baron. So we'll find out what is resting in the garbage can on the way out there.
Yeah, we found Dark Elf sitting on the Baron throne, and once we got to that second phase, it was, I believe, the small child in Coffee and Chocobo's party using a Artemis bow and charm arrows, 3,000 damage in one hit, and Dark Elf was done.
I believe that was a dragon whip coming out of Baron, if I saw correctly.
Looks like our tracker, Maggie the Cat, saying it was a Dragoon Spear.
Okay. So I caught most of the letters. I guess I just didn't get all of them. Apologies. Sometimes the runners are so good at what they do that those boxes will flash by faster than you can blink, basically.
Looks like Coffee and Chocobos is going to go dive and check for Vanilla Darkness Crystal down here in Luga Cave. Meantime, Zoe is heading into Magnus and are going to save. I think she is going to give chat what they want and show off the music.
Alrighty then, so... Or not.
She might do it on the way out.
Perhaps.
There we go, talking to Dark Elf from behind. Got a loads of swag move there. So we're going to actually be quiet for a second so the music can play out, and we'll be back with you in just a minute. Oh, that was the oath from Final Fantasy VIII. Zoe just doing a quick check of the boss and says, okay, we're done, bye.
Yeah, as long as it's not King and Queen, there's no reason to stick around and engage them.
In the meantime, Coffee and Chocobos found the hook down in Luca Cave. Has the Pinktail in his inventory. That's an adamant armor.
Yeah, and that's definitely a good thing to have no matter what the situation.
Especially knowing Rubicante is in that king spot, that adamant armor is a huge boon.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You want to get all the protection you can when you're looking at a boss that can be that heavy at that spot.
In the meantime, Antoniel becomes the first of our featured runners to complete an objective, takes out the King and Queen Evelyn hiding in that waterfall. And
also gets food from some new spells, if I saw that correctly.
That's correct. We have the Fusoya's, Vanilla Fusoya is not on, so every boss battle you take, we will randomly learn 3 new spells. And gain 100 HP.
So you can think of it as him, growing up a little, if you will. Although he's already old, so doesn't really need to grow up too much.
Coffee and Chocobos finds King Queen Evelyn and resets. I think might have been a little bit too fast on his reset. Yep, they're going straight back to the waterfall. It's one of those situations you're just so used to resetting out of immediately that you see it's the boss you need, you reset, and then you're like, oh, I didn't mean to reset, sorry.
Yeah, and it's happened so much in the tournament, I could definitely understand just that sort of quick instinct there.
Coffee and Chocobos takes down the King and Queen, gets objective number 1 on his side, and then it's going to go back to searching for that Darkness Crystal.
Yeah, that's the big question now. Where is it lurking?
Well, at this point, the only places I think we have not seen is top of tower, King and Queen of Feymarch, and I don't think anyone's completed Dwarf Castle itself.
Yeah, so we're starting to kind of run out of spots.
We also have that Mom Bomb down at the Baron basement that could hold it as well. Or any of those spots could have some kind of chain item that leads to it. So
right, yeah. So there are definitely a few possibilities. Looks like we're about to see that Pinktail turn in on C&C's side.
Yeah, I like this Pinktail turn in, get out adamant armor before heading to take on that Rubicante. Put someone in the back row with that. I don't think Rubicante, with the exception of Glare, can do more than 1 damage to you.
Yeah, and especially since we've already seen the means to back row Edge, although I don't know if C&C has that boomerang. If he does, then that makes it an even more desirable item to set up.
Another strat you could use, I believe we have found, I think someone saw a curse string, I just don't know who it was. But we do have that cane. If we have a piece of Dragoon equipment, either shield, armor, gauntlets, you could literally just put an Ice Brand or Blizzard Spear on Kane, put that curse string and Dragoon gear on him, and just let him go to town, and Ruby couldn't do anything to him. But it looks like Antondale is going to give us our favorite game show.
Rate that treasury!
That's right, it is Rate That Treasury time, and this treasury got hit very hard by Sparse, didn't it?
And it's not even sparse 60, it's sparse 80 this time, so 20% more of the treasure chests are filled than in the tournament, and the treasury still kind of got hit upside the head.
Yeah, that treasury, I'd give it maybe a 2. The best thing I saw in there was a Dragoon Spear at the very end.
Yeah, unfortunately, it wasn't a particularly inspirational treasury, sadly.
Yeah, pointing out there was a Zeus Gauntlet there as well. That was decent, but really a underwhelming treasure. In the meantime, Damishi has picked up his crystal. He can now go defeat Zeromus, if that was his goal of this seed.
On CNC's side, we see that adamant armor definitely putting in work as Rubicante is tossing fires at the party, and it's already taken down 2 of them, but Edge is simply scoffing at any damage numbers thrust at him, and then comes the glare, and that doesn't even do anything.
Yeah, I think CNC is going to be able to get through this with no problem. With that glare doing only 1 damage, I think anything that Rubicante throws is only going to be 1 damage. I think Edge is going to kill Rubicante before Rubicante can make 800 something attacks.
Well, you would certainly hope so.
In the meantime, Damishi picks up the adamant from the Sills. Can now go forge his Excalibur for that Cecil that we don't have in our party. So Antidale is going to go grind some eggs, probably in preparation for this Rubicante spot.
Yeah, that's definitely understandable. I'm so used to Glare doing thousands of points of damage and usually quad 9s. It's still just crazy to see it doing 1 damage to that adamant armored Edge.
Yeah, adamant armors there's a reason they're called the best armor in the game. They are the best armor in the game. You can stick one on somebody and they can pretty much tank almost anything. Also, Coffee and Chocobo is getting the script kill too. That is amazing. Coffee and Chocobo takes down Rubicante. That is objective number 3.
The king is dead, long live the tower.
Oh, that tower key could lead to that darkness crystal.
It could very well, and with a party that can take down, or at least an Edge that can take down the king of monsters, the tower is not going to offer a whole lot, at least certainly the super cannon room.
Yeah, I think right now, Coffee and Chocobos, with those 2 objectives done, is in the driver's seat in regards to the seat at the moment. And as chat pointing out, the only remaining gating item is going to be your rat tail. Also, surprise Wyvern.
Hi, Wyvern. The usual mega nuke has been turned off, but that doesn't mean that Wyvern can't still bake you in reams of eternal fire.
Yeah, and the Ashura spot is a decent magic spot, so those mega nukes and nukes regular are just going to hurt, and hurt hard.
So, CNC taking the discretion being the better part of valor, deciding to go ahead and use that tower key to good effect. I don't blame him one bit.
Yeah, now I think chat, and I agree with chat, we want Darkness find that Wyvern.
I mean, y'all do. I'm the sort that I like things to be a little smoother for the runners, but I know you guys like chaos, so I shall tip my hat and go about my merry way.
Well, that is just a bunch of Kaipo guards here in the super cannon room.
Well, Edge got fire visited on him a moment ago, and he will visit fire upon his foes now.
Antidale, in the meantime, feels he's grinded up enough. We're going to go take on that Rubicante. Demechi picking up the hook from Luca Cave and back out. And Zoe picking up the party rock. Looks like Coffee Chocobos is only doing the Penguinator special, only doing that tower key. It's not going to check top of tower.
Interesting. I mean, obviously he can come back in quickly enough. I presume he's just wanting to see if he's got a quick stab at that darkness crystal, and if so, then it's pretty much curtains.
Meantime, Ante looks like he took a wipe, unfortunately, to that Rubicante, having to take a second shot at it. Zoe finds King Queen in the waterfall. That's a rat tail. That was the only remaining gating item. Coffee Chocobos looks like they're going to head straight in and turn that in and see what's there.
Yeah, I was about to say, speaking of, chat just mentioning that the rat tail was the only gating item left, and, well, I guess y'all summoned it. Good job, guys.
I expect to see it not done within the next minute and a half.
Yep, well, there you go, kids.
What's the saying? Check your objectives. Rubicante to Tower Key to Rat Tail to Darkness.
And that quick stab at the tower key completely paid off.
Yes, it did. We're going to hop into the whale cutscene. Unfortunately, it's not quite time yet. You've got to sit through the entire cutscene. Once it sees all objectives completed, that's when time will be called. And we will give you an official time once that happens. We'll also see if we can get Coffee Chocobos in for an interview.
And Simar asking in chat if there's no Z fight. There is not a Z fight required to win. Once they complete the objectives, that is it.
Yep, and there it is. All objectives complete. Coffee and Chocobos is our winner with an official time of 35 minutes, 54 seconds. Hit your GG's on in chat.
My goodness, GG's CNC. That is... It's kind of insane to think of a free enterprise seed being over quite that quickly.
So let's see if we can get Coffee and Chocobos in for an interview. I believe we are now joined by Coffee and Chocobos. GG's on your first place victory.
Thank you. Thank you. GG's.
So how are you feeling about this seed and this flag set?
This flag set's definitely an up and down thing. It's either going to take you forever to find the boss that you need and possibly a demist, or it's going to be a whirlwind, and it looks like it was the latter this time.
So what was your thoughts seeing that Rubicante down there in the king spot?
Rubicante I knew was going to be a little tricky until I can find an adamant armor. That's why I tried to do a little bit of extra looting. T-Wild, you never know when the next chest you open is going to be an adamant armor, but you know, when I found the pink tail and then I did that Luca dive for the hook, even though the hook boss was not King Queen Eblon at that point, I didn't know it was at the waterfall. I knew I had to get out of there with the hook because that's a beeline for an objective right there, especially with the Bacchus wine that I picked up.
Yeah, and that hook ends up being the key for you here with that darkness hiding behind that rat tail, which was the last gating key item that we had. How'd that feel when you saw that?
That was funny. I thought to myself, getting that tower key, I gotta chase this because it's a tough boss that you need specific things to take on. And I thought about doing the whole tower, and it looks like up on the stream, Antlion's at the top of tower, so that would have just been a time sink to go and do. So, you know, I did the old Penguinator special there, half tower, and it turned out perfectly.
Yeah, I made mention of that as you came down with the Penguinator special, and as you said, it worked out for you because that was absolutely brilliant, and that darkness crystal, go mode, and you're set.
Yeah, that's probably the fastest seed I've actually gone and done. Like, I mean, outside of like a 5-minute seed where you're where you've got one objective to do. But that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed this flag set. It's definitely entertaining, and I bet there's you could play the same flags 10 different times, and you could get 10 different times all over the map, from half an hour to 2 hours.
Yeah, I will say that chat, we were kind of hoping that Darkness would end up behind that wyvern at one point.
Yeah, I took one peek at that, and I don't even know why I looked at it for more than half a second, because there was no way. Even with Witchburn on, or no, it wasn't Witchburn. It was whatever the one that is that disables his Mega Nuke.
It's Witchburn.
Is it Witchburn?
Yeah, it's Witchburn. Wyvern is the one that changes it for a random one.
Okay, but yeah, I hadn't even found Veils, so there was no point either way.
Yeah, you didn't do really any shopping at all, did you, this season?
No, I knew with the items that I found for Edge, there's a lot that you could basically wreck the overworld without using a single item, and even most of the underworld stuff, finding a ninja sword in the dwarf shop and then finding another one in Sylph Cave, didn't really have to do a lot of shopping, fortunately.
GG's again, Karat. Do you have any other questions for Coffee Chocobos?
No, y'all pretty much taken care of them. I'll just add my own GGs and just continue to extol how crazy a push speed to jump seed ends up, well, being, I suppose.
Yeah, they are tons of fun. It's fun to do all the skips that you can't normally do. And I just have one last shout out. Hey PK, I faded Antlion. You happy?
It worked out. It was an easy boss, but it would have also guided you the party rock. Could have threw that treasury, see if you can find an adamant armor there.
Ooh, I might check that out after the seed's done.
I recommend you do, and then you can yell at me later when you see what's in there. Alright, well, thank you so much for being featured. GG's again on first place, and we look forward to seeing you in future races.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Take care.
So again, that was Coffee and Chocobos, our first place winner. Again, definitely go give all our runners a follow. They are here putting on this race for your enjoyment. Do drop them a follow. In the meantime, Antondale is in the right place, is going to go get the hook, has Tower Key in his inventory, so is able to go get said Rat Tail. Zoe is taking on the Rubicante, and Danishi is still currently making some checks everybody else has done.
Yeah, it looks like Zoe took on a few eggs to get party members up to the wonderful HP totals that I see on screen. I think I saw some egg grinding going on in the periphery while we were looking at other stuff.
Correct. Yeah, Zoe basically did the same thing Antondale did, which is grab the eggs from Evelyn and did a grind to get ready for this Rubicante fight. Also, while we were doing our interview with Coffee Chocobos, we did have a second place finisher. Baka Shinobi finished second with a time of 38 minutes, 14 seconds. So GG's to Baka.
GG's Baka.
And Antondale resets out of the hook. It's one of the situations where we know that's required, Antondale doesn't, and in Antondale's mind there's still a couple of checks that have not been made yet. Could definitely go and make those checks first before coming back and saying, oh, I probably need this hook for that Darkness Crystal from the Rat Tail.
Yeah, that's understandable. When you've still got other places to look, the hook is not the first thing you're going to hang on to. So maybe once he gets into the Super Cannon room, sees the Rat Tail, and then perhaps shows us the item at the top of Darkness, which I think you guys saw on screen. I wasn't looking at that point. But maybe he'll go back and get that hook once that Rat Tail comes in. And while it looks like Zoe is having a little bit of a rough time with Rubicante, which is understandable because Rubicante can punch, and the main thing that got CNC through it was having Edge with that adamant armor, so he could simply sit there and absorb whatever came at him.
Yeah, as a tracker, Maggie Cat pointing out, Anthony knows where the Pigtail is, did turn in that pan check, knows that Pigtail is Sheila too. But as I said, for right now, doesn't want to worry about walking that hook back out and is just not worrying about it. So. In the meantime, Demeshi is about to get the bad news about the package from Zot. Meantime, Zoe has defeated Rubicante, picks up her tower key.
Meanwhile, Antidale is jumping completely out of the walls in tower. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, press B to jump. You can jump in a lot of funny different ways. So Antidale gets the Sand Ruby from top of tower. It's taking on the tower super cannon room now. We'll pick up that rat tail. We'll see if once he sees that rat tail, if that incentivizes him going back down to Luca and picking up that hook.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I would presume it will, because obviously Antidale knows that rat tail is a key item check, and of course he's looking for that darkness crystal. So I would be more than a little surprised if he doesn't go back to get the hook at this point.
In the meantime, Demeshi is taking on Dark Elf here in the King of Barons spot. Going to pick up the Dragoon Spear you get for defeating this.
And it looks like we just came across with a third place finisher, as Invenerable finishes with an official time of 46 minutes and 35 seconds. So GG to Invenerable.
Yes, as a reminder, we do have 28 total participants in this race. We're only featuring 4 of them. The other 24 are all streaming on their own channels, racing. And again, if you enjoy the content, you feel like you want to race with us, we are more than welcome to have newer people. Doesn't matter how fast, slow, how good you think you are, how not good you think you are. We all start somewhere.
Absolutely. And if I remember correctly, we are going to be having community races on, I believe, Mondays and Fridays, if I remember right.
That's correct. Monday nights are 8 p.m. here on the Free Enterprise channel. And Fridays are over on Random Mania, and I don't remember the time off the top of my head. 10 p.m. Eastern is what I'm being told in my ear by our wonderful researcher, Scala Kitty.
Scala Kitty with all the answers, both in chat and on voice.
Meantime, Anthony did keep the rat tail. It's now going to take on Mom Bomb here in the Baron basement. Zoe picks up Z-Rat Tail, and looks like they're heading to the right spot in Luca Cave.
All right, so we will see a hook on Zoe's screen pretty soon.
And we do have a 4th place finisher. Frostbite 3030 is finished in 4th place at 48 minutes 30 seconds. GG's to Frostbite.
GG's Frostbite.
The Mishi is working on scrambling some eggs. I do not blame him. Wants to make sure has plenty of HP, plenty of firepower to take on that Rubicante.
Yeah, I would certainly be doing the same thing. I guarantee that.
Meantime, Antonell picks up a spoon and immediately resets out of Baron Basement.
Rip Spoony Bard. We haven't seen the Spoony Bard this seed, I don't believe.
We have not.
Although it is worth noting that if the Spoony Bard did make an appearance in this seed, he could be duly equipped, because we do have that turned on in these flags.
And honestly, at this point, I would take that spoon and throw it at Rubicante if I needed to, if I hadn't already defeated him.
Fair enough.
So Zoe finds the hook and has not reset. Antondale on his way back down to pick up that hook. And Zoe missed the jump and resets out to avoid the fight.
Ah, nuts.
It's something we've all done.
Oh, yeah. And especially with the, if you're not used to the push B to jump flags, it's easy to go ahead and hit that trigger on the way out the door. And it looks like while everybody is busy grabbing their hooks, Poydrak has finished in 5th place with an official time of 50 minutes, 26 seconds. So GG, Poydrak.
Goes picks up his hook. Zoe is in the process of trying to warp out of the Luca cave. And Amici is heading down into the Fame Arch, more than likely about to take on that Rubicante. At this point, it's a situation of who wants to find the hovercraft first.
Yeah, I think Zoe for a moment I think she was heading over to go ahead and turn in the tail and then realized she didn't have the hovercraft. So I'm to go pick it up.
Everyone's favorite game, dude, where's my hovercraft?
Yeah. Meanwhile, Antondale was in the same boat, just didn't take quite as long to remember it.
Yeah, Antondale is about 10 seconds behind Zoe right now. Meantime, we do have a 6th place finisher. Commander Leonhardt is finished 6th. Time of 52 minutes, 35 seconds. GG.
GG's Commander Leonhardt.
Meantime, Zoe Antondale high-fiving, and Zoe leaves with the Darkness Crystal. Antondale picking up the Darkness Crystal. In the meantime, while they are both in that cutscene, we did have a 7th place finisher. Prof. Corey has finished in 7th, 53 minutes, 30 seconds.
So taking that 7th place snipe right out from under both Zoe and Antondale, who will be probably no more than 30 seconds or so behind.
Yeah, barring any snipes, we're looking at probably 8th and 9th. There's Zoe finishing. Final time of 53 minutes, 53 seconds. She takes 8th. And then we did have a sight. Cat comes in 9th, 54 minutes, 6 seconds, beating Antidale, who came in 10th, 54 minutes, 9 seconds. And then Tybalt right behind them at 54 minutes, 18 seconds, and 11th.
So GG's to all, and a very quick flood of finishes there.
We'll see if we can get them in for an interview. And I believe we are now joined by our 8th place finisher, Zoe Vermillion. GG's.
Hey, thanks so much.
So, how did you feel about almost having to 17 of 17 this season?
Not nearly as bad as who was at the King Queen spot. And the reason I say that is I did 5 practice seeds of this flag set prior to this race. 2 of them were elements, and the last 2 that I just did on my stream were also ruby. I've had to fight 3 rubies in a row.
So you were prepared at least for this fight.
A little bit, yeah.
I will slide in and note that Bad Karma has finished in, I believe, in 12th place with an official time of 55 minutes, 25 seconds. So GG's Bad Karma. Also, GG's Zoe.
Hey, thanks.
What was your feeling overall on this seed?
Overall, I felt like I played it pretty well. I isolated Waterfall for too long, and when I saw that, I was like, well, there goes that. But as soon as I saw that first dot done come in, I was like, okay, the chain is behind Ruby. It has to be. And so I just immediately decided to do my grind, take out Ruby, saw it was a tower key, was like, okay, I'll follow this, saw it was a rat tail, and go, I don't have a hook. Luca key? And luckily that paid off.
Yeah, this was kind of the chain of chains to get to that darkness crystal. Having to defeat your objective, thankfully, to get that tower key, to get that rat tail, and then having to do Sheila 1 to get that Luca key to get to that hook.
Yeah, I probably feel best about the fact that I only did half tower and left to save there, because as soon as I finished, like within the next 40 seconds, there was like 3 more finishers.
Yeah,
so
you did have a 4 finishers right there.
Yeah. Overall, like, I'm happy. I'm happy that community races are back. It's a lot of fun, and Push Me to Jump is a great fun flag set. So super happy with my performance tonight overall.
It's absolutely a pleasure to watch. GG's again. Karat, you got any other questions for Zoe?
No, you guys have, y'all pretty much taken care of everything. It's like you said, Push Me to Jump's a really fun flag set. I was watching people jump out of walls and up and down places. It's pretty amazing. So GG Zoe, and yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun to see these back.
Yeah, absolutely. Like with all the jumping stuff, there's a bunch of shenanigans that I don't know. I started playing it the night it came out, and I just like formed all of my own strategies and have never bothered to look at anybody else's. So there's probably tons of stuff, little optimizations I missed. I do want to point out one thing I did in the seed that I hope chat enjoyed was me dropping the magma key down the well. So I hope y'all enjoyed that text box. It's one of my favorites.
The best Easter eggs in the game, in my opinion.
Anyway, thanks so much to everybody that watched, everyone that raced, and all y'all, comms and restream tracker. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Zoe. It's GG's again.
All right, bye.
That was our 8th place finisher, Zoe Vermillion. Let's see if we can get Antidale in here. I believe we are joined by Antidale. GG's on 10th.
Thanks, Kevin.
So, I had to ask, how did you feel having to dive Luca Cave a second time?
It's so much fun to just jump all over Sealed Cave. Why not do it twice?
Fair enough. How do you feel overall on this seed?
It's a fun, breezy flag set that has such a high amount of you gotta guess right to get a really good time. So it's a lot of fun. And I just love seeing, like, the huge variance of time that's going to be throughout this entire thing. Like CNC, of course, routed perfectly, like he did against me in the Highway to the Famous Zone. So GG's to him for the victory. And it's just a lot of fun to just show off all the different things you can do. So I don't mind having a really high clear percentage in this one. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, the seed kind of led to a high clear percentage with the chain of chains to get to that darkness crystal. So walk me through that. How many chains were you expecting to have to go through here?
I was expecting King Queen to be the harder one to find, so much so that I even reset out of King Queen at the waterfall very briefly before I realized, no, that's actually the sprite I'm looking for. I was not expecting darkness to be the hardest thing to find in the flag set.
And then the decision to do an egg grind before Rubicante. That just wanted to make sure you had the levels to go through it, or
you
were just kind of...
Neither Ruby nor Elements are that friendly to get through. I didn't have a whole lot of great defensive gear, so either one is going to punch real hard. So I wanted to get some more levels on some people.
It was a well-played seed. Even 10th place, again, this seed could have gone any way. As you said, it was all about the routing. 10th place is nothing to shake a stick at. So GG's once again. Karat, you have any other questions for Antidale?
No, just I'll toss my GG's out as well and compliment you on jumping completely out of floors to be able to traverse them quickly. I only seen a little bit of push B to jump before this seed, and I didn't see anybody doing that. So, goodness gracious.
Yeah, there's some places where you can just jump straight out the side and it warps you up or down depending on where it was. So it's a lot of fun to use those where you can. Well, thank you both for doing comms, and thanks Scala for rolling this seed and for doing the restream, and Maggie for doing the tracking. Thanks all for having a great night.
Please once again, Antidale.
Yeah, likewise. Have a good night.
In the meantime, while we were doing our interviews with Zoe and Antidale, we did have some more finishers come in. Dragus is finished in 13th at 56 minutes 23 seconds. Twisted Flax in 14th, 58 minutes 28 seconds. Stone Dingley in 15th at 58 minutes 50 seconds. So GG saw them.
GG's everybody. We had them all coming in, not quite in the same harried fashion as we saw after Zoe's finish, but still pretty close all together, really.
Demichi is about to pick up the last piece of his puzzle, which is going to be that rat tail. Still has not gone and defeated that King Queen Evelyn up in the waterfall. Probably was saving that to do last.
Yeah, I would presume so. I mean, waterfall's not a tough check really at much of any point, but certainly not once you've got the levels and you've been able to beat down a bunch of other bosses. Yeah, Damashi is heading to get the hovercraft, turn in the rat tail, and then probably take care of the waterfall while he's at it here. So just get them all in one fell swoop.
Also, I unfortunately was not paying attention to any spoiler logs, but that Baron Key can be one of two places. It can either be behind that Wyvern or in Cave Bahamut, because those are the only two spots left for it. But then again, since we Baron, doesn't really matter.
True. I will admit it took me a moment to remember that the summon rewards are turned on, but the moon rewards are not in the seed. So it took me a moment, but I realized, yeah, you were exactly right on that.
Also, our tracker reminding me, no runner did Dwarf Castle, so it could also be there as well.
That is true.
Shout outs to our wonderful tracker, Maggie the Cat, our wonderful B streamer, Scala Kitty, doing all the works behind the scenes to make everything run smoothly. Karan, thank you so much for being in the booth with me as well. It's been a pleasure.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you guys for having me. And thank you also to the rest of our crew who have had the pleasure of bringing us tonight's broadcast. And of course, Maggie has been keeping our heads on straight with some great tracking for 4 people at once, which is always an imposing task.
Just wait till we get to the K-Trap seeds with 4 people at once.
Sure, I'll take your word for that one.
Oh, I'll be right back. I gotta duck the newspapers that are being thrown at me at the current moment.
All right, well, while newspapers are being tossed around, Damashi is about to raise the big whale and fulfill that objective. And so that will just about bring things to a close on the restream end. We still have, if I am keeping my count correctly, about half of our runners continuing at this point. So we still got plenty of folks who are racing in their own seed or their own streams. And so definitely plenty of folks to root on virtually or in spirit, I suppose. And as Damashi is about to get close to finishing on the restream, definitely make sure to check out everybody who has had the pleasure of entertaining everybody tonight. So check out all of our runners. Make sure to give them follows, because not only are they great runners, but they're great folks too. So definitely check them out if you haven't already.
And we were glad to see, and it looks like, I don't think Damishi realized that King Queen Ebon was in the waterfall when they checked it.
Oh, you may very well have not, because we're getting moon checks.
Yeah, because I know Damishi was the first one, I believe, of our restream runners who actually checked that. And I guess, again, remember I made mention of it when he reset out, that maybe he just was going to come back to it later, and I don't think he realized.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. I mean, I do remember you mentioning that a little bit earlier.
In the meantime, we do have a couple more finishers. Jay Brunter finishing in 16th, an hour, 5 minutes, 37 seconds. Humph right behind in 17th, an hour, 5 minutes, 58 seconds.
GD to both.
So the good news for Damashi here is be able to run down, check all these bosses. Be able to face check them, see they're not who you need, reset out, move on. Once you get through with all of these checks, go to I'm assuming the Giant's probably going to be next. Going to check that, see it's not who you need. Jump over elements, check CPU, see it's not who you need. Then package, hey look, there's our Swoonie Bard.
Okay, well, there you go. Hi, Ed.
And then, as I said, package would be the only other gating item at this point. Do have an 18th place finisher. X Pancraz finishing 18th, hour, 7 minutes, 2 seconds. GG's X Pancraz.
GG's Pancraz.
Yeah, there's only 5 boss spots down here. Then the 2 spots on the Giant. The spot in the package might take some time to get through, and at that point, should be able to go, oh, I missed something. I missed something big. Hopefully it goes back to that waterfall and checks it again and realizes.
Yeah, we hope so, certainly. Unfortunately, the lunar subterranean is going to take a minute to be able to kind of get through, but hopefully he'll realize it sooner rather than later.
In the meantime, at least we get to see our lovely Moon Bard appear twice.
Indeed. We also see Ground Flyer finish in 19th with a time of 1:08:08.
GG's Ground Flyer. Yeah, so if I'm Damichi here, I go straight down to the save point by the ribbon room. I save, I check Oko spot, I check ribbon spot, I check White Sphere. Then I go check Crystal Sword, and I reset completely out, come back to the Earth.
Yeah, definitely. Use the ribbon or use the save spot as essentially your home base for the moment. and just go ahead and do all those checks and be able to go back to the safe spot quickly and get out if need be. As, of course, we know he will need to, but just sort of trying to think as he may be right now, I would presume.
Part of me hopes that Demishi goes down and checks Zeromus, just because I love the Easter egg down here.
Looks like we have a couple more finishers, pretty much right on top of each other. Plumeria Knight finished in 20th place with 109.39, and Emily's Poorly Drawn Bees is finished in 21st with 109.42. So 3 seconds off or 3 seconds off from each other.
Oh, there's for sure. Huh? And there's Dr. Cossack in 22nd place, 1 hour, 10 minutes, 22 seconds.
GG's to all three.
I think Demeshi might have realized what he forgot.
Yeah, it certainly looks like it. He's heading back down to the blue planet. So hopefully it is a revelation. And from the direction he's going, I think he did, yeah.
Yeah, that's taking the whale. That's a swag whale flying over to the waterfowl to complete this scene. I have to admit, I like it. And even going to give us the wait and let them kill themselves. I love it. I love it. I love it. Or not. Never mind. There's the attack.
I was going to say, not quite.
That is King Queen Evelyn down. That is a dot done for Demeshi, finishing in 23rd with a final time of 1 hour, 12 minutes, 15 seconds. Get your GG's on chat for Demeshi.
GG's.
We'll see if Demeshi is up for an interview tonight. There we go. I think we're going to get Demeshi in here in just a minute. There we go. We are joined by Demeshi. GG's on your finish. How you feeling?
Like I messed up pretty badly there.
I think I saw in chat you said you realized once you saw Ashura down there in the Lunar Sun Trade, you're like, wait, hold on.
Yeah, I saw the sprite for Queen Eblon and I was like, oh, it's Ashura there, and immediately reset. And yep, it's done quite a while ago.
It's happened to all of us where we've seen one sprite and it's actually been something different. So don't sweat it too much. It did allow you to show off our favorite moon bard. So thank you so much for that.
Hey, no problem. It's actually the first time I've played press B to jump, so I'm kind of glad I was able to do a couple things with it.
How did you feel about the flag set as a whole and getting your first experience to press B?
I really enjoyed it. I thought that was a pretty nifty flag set in general. It definitely puts the pressure on to just kind of go through and get everything done. And, you know, the lack of a grind, I mean, I did a little bit of a siren grind just for the Monster Town boss, but I felt it was really good. A really enjoyable flag set.
Oh, it was really great to watch. You loved seeing your gameplay. Very meticulous in what you were doing, and it was great to watch.
Thank you. Yeah, I had a blast. Hope to do some more community races.
Karat, do you have any questions for Demishi?
No, GG's on the race, and yeah, thank you for being restreamed, for letting us enjoy watching you race tonight, and hopefully, yeah, we'll see you in all the rest of the community races coming up.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you to the restream team and the commentary, the restreamer, you know, Scala, the tracker, Maggie, and of course Gambit and Karan here doing the commentary, and everyone running.
Well, thank you, and GG's once again.
Thanks.
That is going to be it for us on the restream side of things. I do want to point out we did have a 24th place finisher. It's Sky the Marshall, 1 hour, 14 minutes, 27 seconds. How'd you feel about this race, Karan?
It was a blast. It's just the sheer craziness that you can do with push B to jump is so much fun. It is definitely very much worth watching. I'm glad I had the opportunity to come in and to be one of the commentators, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this very much tonight. It was a great deal of fun, and it was a great way to get community races back into the swing.
Yeah, push B to jump is honestly one of my favorite flags. I love doing anything push B to jump, and it was so much fun being able to commentate on 4 great racers just jumping around the map, having a good time. And as Scott said, sneaking in a little bit of Hades OST at the very beginning and our Hades theme tonight, since a lot of our Fate Enterprise community has been drugged down to the Hades by the King and Queen Evelyn and been playing that a lot. But in the meantime, we are going to push you guys off to Flurry 14, who is currently doing some practice for his all-important Game 4 of Highway to Demon Zone finals. Currently set for tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, if I'm not mistaken. Might be 7 p.m. I'm not quite positive.
7 p.m. according to the Restream channel.
Thank you, Karan. Again, I do want to shout out our runners one more time: Zoe Vermillion, Coffee Chocobos, and Tadale Demichi. Feel free to give them a follow, as well as our Restream team: Scala Kitty doing the Restream, Maggie the Cat doing tracking, my fellow co-commentator Karan.
And thank you also for co-comming with me, Gambit. Hopefully you guys had fun tonight, and we look forward to seeing you all tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. Eastern on RPG Limit Break for Game 4 of the Highway to the Three Mist Zone Finals.
Have fun, jump around. See you tomorrow.